Hey everyone, this is the Millionaire Hippies podcast with your host, Boom Shikha, where we chat about spirituality, business, and health. We all want to live self-actualizing, fulfilling lives with joy, prosperity, and gratitude. Let's go on this beautiful journey together.
Hey everyone, welcome to another podcast episode here on the Millionaire Hippie podcast. My name is Boom Shikha. And in this podcast, I want to speak to you guys about how we're kind of living in this world right now which is moving really, really fast. It's actually a little bit scary at how fast this world is moving. Not only are there, terrorist attacks all over the place, and hurricanes and tsunamis and all those natural disasters and human disasters, but also the fact that technology is moving so fast, so that something that was the norm a month ago, 2 months ago, might not be the norm right now. And something that was really popular 2 weeks ago will probably not be popular a month from now, or could be even more popular. You have no idea anymore how fast the world moves. And in this fast-paced world, a lot of times we have a tendency to want to move as fast as the world. Unfortunately, or fortunately, as human beings, we are just living things, and we have a certain rhythm that we have to go along with. We are not robots yet, even though we'd like to believe that we are, and a lot of people are actually behaving like they are, and burning themselves out in the process. But the reality is that we are just living things. We are just mammals. We have our limitations, and we cannot move as fast as this world is moving. And if we believe that we can, then we're going to either burn ourselves out or never actually enjoy being in the moment, never actually enjoy our life and get to the end of our lives and suddenly realize that we never actually paid attention to any of the important stuff, right? And this is something people talk about all the time. I think I've said this a billion times myself, but it's so important to repeat this over and over and over again. I'm living in Chiang Mai, Thailand right now, and I'm far away from my family. And, they're doing their own thing. They're learning, they're growing. I'm learning and growing. There's a lot of things that I'm missing out on in their life, and a lot of things they're missing out on in my life. But I've taken this chance. I've done this sacrifice so that I can build my business in a way where I'm not always constantly worrying about money, because it's much cheaper to live here. But I'm always also moving really fast because I've placed myself in a deadline situation where I want to build my business and have it running and successful, making money in a certain amount of time, so I can go back and forth between Thailand and Toronto, Canada, and visit my family often as I wish, maybe twice a year or even more. And so I'm kind of putting this artificial deadline upon myself, and I work every single day, not as much as I used to before, obviously. I used to work a lot more before, but I do still work a lot. I have no days off, and I like it. I love the work that I'm doing. I love the stuff that I do on a daily basis. But it means that I have to spend a lot of time detoxing as well, because I need to balance all of this energy out. So I have a lot of fire energy in me, a lot of pitta, as they call it in the Ayurvedic body types. And so I'm always going and working and really working hard. So my body is constantly in that work state. And I need to balance that out by, doing a lot of meditation, doing a lot of yin yoga, doing a lot of nutrition breaks, physical breaks, movement breaks, drinking a lot of water, doing all of that stuff to balance it all out. Otherwise, what's going to happen is I'm going to burn myself out. Because an entrepreneur is always trying to stay ahead of the curve, but a lot of times, because there's, again, so much information being put out there into the universe, that's a little bit hard sometimes to keep up. And so either we can berate ourselves for that fact, we can hate ourselves for being human, and we can, kill ourselves in the process, or we can realize that we are human, we can do the best we can in the moment, try to do as much as we can in the moment, and give ourselves a break occasionally, taking time off from all of this hurried activity to come back to the moment. Come back to the present moment. Come back to being mindful and aware of what's going on right now in this moment. Otherwise, we will spend all of our days working and driving ourselves to some unknown future that might never arrive, and we'll never actually know what it is like to be present in this moment. When I meditate every morning, it is necessary for me to meditate every morning nowadays because I know that the rest of my day is going to be spent rushing and working towards some future, something that I'm working towards, some goal that I'm working towards, right? And so I really, really have to take that 2 hours in the morning to do my morning routine, to set myself up properly. Because if I don't take that time, that slow time to meditate, to journal, to do my breathing exercises, to do yoga, then the rest of my day is going to be at a really high vibration. It's going to be set up so that I feel really harried. I feel really hurried. I feel I feel burnt out just thinking about it because it's so tiring. And I know I can do this for a certain amount of time before burning out. So either we could choose to do it this way. So we push ourselves for a few days until we burn out, and then we take a week off, 2 weeks off, whatever it might be. And then we go hard again, and then we take a few days off, and then we go hard again. And so we could do it that way. Or the way I've set it up is that I take a break every single day in order to counteract and balance out all of that activity, all of that hurriedness, all of that energy that I've dissipated and all of that work, so that I don't burn out. And I'm making sure that I am detoxing and balancing out all of it from day to day. I'm not extending myself. I'm not borrowing from my energy bank. I'm not borrowing from my future self, so that I'm not that person who borrows from the future to pay the present, and then my future self hates me for it. I don't want to be that person. And so I have a very strict morning routine. And a lot of people think that, it's a very rigid routine. But the rigidity of the routine is necessary so that I can work as hard as I do. So that I can create all of this stuff that I do for you guys. All the podcasts, the videos, the blog posts, all of that stuff. It takes a lot of energy out of me. More and more so I'm getting used to it. And so I can do more and more as time goes past. But when I began this whole process 1.5 years ago, I would get tired just doing one single video. And now I can do 2 or 3 in a single day or more sometimes. And so as I'm building up my tolerance, I can do more and more. It does not mean that I should push myself over my edge, over my limits. And so many entrepreneurs, I speak to so many of them, and they're always complaining about this fact that they always push themselves so hard because as a solo entrepreneur, or as a beginner or a newbie, you have a lot of stuff that you have to take care of. And you have to pick and choose your battles, right? You have to decide, am I going to focus on this today or I'm going to focus on that? Because I have a limited amount of time during the day. And I need to make sure, for my safety, for my health, and for the future, that I sleep 8 hours a night. I have to make sure that I sleep a complete night. I have to make sure that I do my morning routine, that I meditate. I have to make sure that I spend time with friends and family so I can detox. I have to make sure that I spend some time in play so I'm not always working. I have to make sure that I drink enough water during the day and eat healthily, that I don't skip any meals, that I take care of my body and my mind and spirit. I have to take care of my spiritual aspect as well, so I'm taking the time out to talk to the universe or to God or whoever that spirit or Holy Spirit is for you, and so taking the time to speak to them and letting them know how grateful you are for this life and how grateful you are for everything, right? So it's important for us to do all that in addition to running a business, in addition to perhaps doing a 9-to-5 job at the same time, in addition to perhaps taking care of kids. So much going on at the same time. And so we are limited beings. We are just human, right? We're not gods and we're not robots. So we have to really, really remember to balance things out. And I think the reason I'm actually playing out this podcast or talking about the subject is because not only do you guys need a reminder perhaps, but more so I need a reminder myself of taking a break, taking some balance, bringing some balance back into my life. Not working so hard, not pushing myself so hard that I forget to eat lunch, not working so hard that I forget to take care of myself, balancing it out a little bit, not pushing myself so hard. Otherwise, I'm going to be the one who burns out. I'm going to be the one who has to take care of myself, especially because I'm alone here in Chiang Mai. And so there's no one else to take care of me here. I have to make sure that I'm at my peak ability, not only for my business, but for myself. I have to make sure that I keep on going for a long time to come. I want to keep on doing this until I die. And if I want to do this until I die, and if I want to have a long life while I do it, I have to make sure that these moments right now, I stay present in. I'm not always rushing to the future. I'm not always rushing to that next moment, but trying to stay present here, right now, in my body, with my feet on the ground and my bum against the chair, noticing where I am right now, noticing the moments that are passing by, noticing the noises outside and the noises around me, noticing the breeze that hits my skin, noticing that fan that moves all this cool air around, noticing the taste of the food against my lips or the water against my lips, all of that stuff, noticing and staying present, so important, even as entrepreneurs. I hope this makes sense to you guys. I hope that this is a good reminder for you guys if you've been rushing and going a mile a minute. Just relax and take a moment, 5 minutes or a minute, just come back to this present moment and remind yourself, why are you actually doing it? You're doing it for something, but let's come back and stay here in the moment for at least a few moments at a time. I hope this makes sense. I hope that you guys have an amazing day wherever you are. If you guys are interested in joining my team, you can do that at patreon.com/boomshikha. And I'll talk to you guys the next time around. Bye for now.
Thanks for listening. Go check out my website at themillionairehippie.com if you want more free, awesome content. If you really like the podcast, please consider giving me a 5-star review on iTunes. Until next time, namaste.